Thank you. First, a quick thank you to Josh and the Van Gordon family for all of their work in the kitchen and other good things. The food was great. Do we have leftovers, or there's some food left? So take some food home. Gary, take some home to Cindy. There's Gary. So make sure you take some home. Some food. Also, another huge thank you. Can you hand Jane Anthony? This happened at Mod Team the other night too. Just two of my favorite people on the planet. Sorry. I just appreciate them so much. I started playing with them back right about the time COVID hit. That was fun, but it was just kind of a nice outlet. We got to play together. And my drums were a huge deal for my mom. So being able to keep playing, and it's a nice thing, and getting to play with them. They help me through a lot with that. They don't know it, but now you do. So I just appreciate them, and I swear I wasn't going to choke up, but I really appreciate them. So again, June the 13th, what month is it? August 13th, we're going to go back in time. August 13th, we'll be playing at St. Jude's actually, so if you want to see me really be a rock star, full drum set, all that jazz, all that rock, come and join us. Our bass player JB actually moved. He got selfish and moved to Virginia. Took a job there, so he's coming back for that gig, so we get to play. So if anybody's looking for bands, But anyway, I just thank them for being here. They were so gracious to do it, and they're actually going to help me with worship, so they're going to help me with a couple of the songs. But just very thankful for everybody that came and helped set up, and just from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for just helping pull this off. So we're going to worship. Feel free. I know most of us are Methodists, so our hands stay pretty low to the ground, but if you feel the Spirit moving and want to put your hands in the air or whatever, feel free to sing along, and we're going to worship God. We'll do a couple songs, and then I'm going to speak a little bit. Not too long, I promise. Well, I probably should tune really quick. Sorry about that.
It's close enough for rock and roll.
Well, I tuned earlier, but it got really humid in here. Our first song is a song by All Sons and Daughters, a band I really like that broke up right after they put out a CD. They got popular. This is Great Are You, Lord. So we have the slides up here, so if you kind of pick it up, it's very repetitive. Feel free to sing along.
You bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. Let's sing that again. You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. You only. Great will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. Sing that again. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. One more time. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. You only. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs. So we pour out our praise. You only. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Now, I know that folks from Stairville know this one because your choir is and they can't be here tonight, so you have to fill in for them. And then we're taking notes, and then we're gonna tell them, talk to them. Barry should sing, or Billy should sing in the choir. So I want to invite you to join with us and sing with us. The splendor of the King, clothed in majesty, let all the earth rejoice, all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide, and trembles at his voice, trembles at his voice. How great is our God. All will sing how great is our God. Age to age he stands. Age to age he stands. will see how great is our God. Well, I should use the microphone. I'm used to having it in front of me. So, one of the reasons we brought here this evening is we were talking at the mod team, and it came out of a discussion that we were having. And there's been a lot happening over in our churches over the past few months and years. I mean, there have been things happening for years and years. And we wanted to bring people together and talk a little bit. We talked a little bit about free community dinner. We talked about some different things, and we decided to do this. And then we asked Angie and Anthony to play, and then we sent out a letter, and it sort of kind of like went with this little thing that just kind of continued to grow and grow. But we want to talk about what's been going on, because our churches, our New Hope churches, are small, but they are mighty. We've celebrated some great calendars. You'll see hoagie sales. You'll see flea markets. You will see auctions and chicken and waffle dinners and Christmas dinners and prayer partner dinners and combined worship and picnics and candy and cookie sales and rest area coffee breaks and spiritual yoga and probably things that I forgot to mention because I didn't look at the calendar before I wrote that. In 2019, Slocum celebrated their 160th anniversary. I think a couple people were still down. Just kidding. Nobody was around then. But they celebrated their 160th anniversary. So we're looking at going on 163 years. My math right? And through our fundraisers, we've made donations to people in our community who are struggling with illness and tragedies. And a couple of years ago, before COVID, we had a Christmas Eve service at Slocum, and we filled the rafters of that church with Christmas carols and singing. Our fundraisers also help us to continue to create connections with our churches. There's just so much happening here. Shortly after I came here, we started our mod team. I still haven't changed it to Mod Squad. For those of you that know the old TV show, they've tried. But our mission, outreach, and discipleship group is a team that is open to anybody, and it consists of people from all three of our churches. It acts in addition to what our churches are already doing through the Joy Circle that plans a lot of the things here, that helps do the dinners, funeral dinners, and other things here at Stairville, and the church at Faith and Slocum. They sort of just gather before and after worship and have their meetings then. That's kind of how they operate. And they talk about and they plan. And some of the work of the mod team has been to create more ways to reach our community and to help grow as disciples. We've hosted family movie nights. Some of you have come and helped with those, and we've seen kids come that otherwise we may not have graced the doors of our churches. We've given donation to the Gatorade and snack bars to Slocum Fire Company. One of the ones I'm most proud of is we created a shoe program with Rice Elementary. Debbie approached Rice Elementary and said, "What is your biggest need?" And we thought that, crayons and tissues for runny noses and things like that. And they said, shoes. Shoes. Kids in our community need shoes. Would you have ever thought of that? And so we gathered money from your donations with Lent coins, with people counting candles, right, Peggy? Counting the candles in their house and making donations through Lent and through Advent. And we were able to buy 14 pairs of shoes for kids at Rice Elementary. We still actually have money in the budget, and we just got another donation, and we're going to continue that on into the next school year. My favorite story, and it's not on here, but I'm going to share it because I love it. Y'all heard it. You're probably sick of it, but not everybody's heard it. Was when somebody approached Nancy. A little girl went and she said, "I want these fuzzy Crocs." Nancy's like, "Well, honey," she did say honey. This is how Nancy tells the story. She said, "Honey, those aren't really going to last." But she worked it out, so the little girl got a new pair of shoes, and she got the fuzzy Crocs. Which did she wear home, the fuzzy Crocs? She wore the fuzzy Crocs home. So we've started these, and we've created our little free pantry outside of Faith Church. We've helped with the creation of the library. If you haven't visited the library upstairs, with the efforts of Janet and Eric and their families, they recruited them upstairs there. We're working on the thrift store at Faith Church. Honestly, my wife is working on the thrift store at Faith Church. I help her, but she's the boss. There's also spiritual yoga, which we don't really take credit for, but we do take credit for. I like to brag about it. But spiritual yoga that meets here at Stairville. And these are additions to all of the other things that our churches are already doing, like I said, with hoagies and candy and chocolate and all of those things. And everything was started by the efforts of the people of our churches through donations of money and time. Not a single penny of any of these projects has come out of our church budget. It's come from the generosity of our churches. Small but mighty. But the problem is, small and mighty as they are, they're also mighty tired. In preparation for this event, we actually sent a letter out encouraging people who are on the fringes, those that we don't see as much, to come back and join us. And I'm honestly not sure if any of them actually came. Maybe one or two, but I don't know that anybody came that we sent the letter to. People that were a part of our church, people who were in the pictures. If you looked at the pictures on the table, people that were once part of our church have drifted away. Some have moved, some, I don't know. So the remnant that's left is getting older, and they're getting tired. Our hope was to connect them with the ministries that we're doing, and I'm hoping that we can do that for you with some of the things that we have started and other things that we want to do with New Raise. We also, in this letter, included an honest assessment about our future, and that we are racing against time and finances. I'm not here to shake you down for money, by the way. That's not the purpose of this. But like I said, if you looked at the pictures on the table, you'd see people who were married, baptized, confirmed. And I don't know where they are. But not included in those pictures are also the people that we've mourned, that we've lost over the past couple of years. Stairville has actually taken a couple really big hits more recently, and the other churches over the past 2 or 3 years have experienced some losses. And the truth is, without a little bit more help and effort, we may not be here much longer. Not tomorrow, but a little further out. Because as we continue to work and do the things we've done for years, it's getting more and more difficult. As the faces we see work in the kitchen get fewer and fewer. Now, before you think this took a turn, he's going to try to guilt us. It's not where I'm going. Because I believe God's not done yet. I believe we've been faithful, and I believe if we continue to be faithful, that in doing what we can to reach our neighbors and our community, that God will continue to bless us. Not with wealth or riches, that would be nice sometimes, you know. Not with wealth and riches, but the resources we need to continue to be a blessing to our community. I believe God still has great things in store for us, and I want to invite everybody who's here to be a part of this, but I also want to encourage you to invite other people to be a part of this, because I think we have some great stuff going on. Matthew 25:35-40 says, "For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me." The righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you did for me." Before I was even able to celebrate my first year here, COVID hit with a vengeance. And we've been fortunate because our church, again, is faithful. And we made it through COVID. We took a couple months off and we came back in with masks and being careful. But what happened is COVID exposed for us the holes in our safety nets. It exposed the holes in our community, the places where our neighbors are the most vulnerable and likely to struggle. Health, hunger, loneliness, mental illness, all of these things were amplified when COVID came along. And just because things seem to be a little bit better doesn't mean that all of these things have gone away. Because if they were existing there under, just getting rid of COVID is not going to get rid of those issues. And we believe our churches can help our community with this. We believe by showing people, first of all, that there is a God who loves and cares about them because we love and care about them. By calling them into a relationship with Jesus, by showing them the difference that Jesus has made in our lives, by being his hands and feet. And that happens by going and having that relationship with them as well. It can also help by filling the places where people need this help. That's why some of the new ministries were started. We started the library to give people out here a place to go together, to be together. We did the little free pantry to give people a little bit of hope. But, there's other resources, but last-minute emergency needs. We're starting the thrift store. The thrift store, the money from that is actually going to go back into the mod team. We'll help pay some of the utilities and things, but it's going to go towards the mod team. The thrift store is actually going to be super inexpensive. It's going to be low cost. And the goal is to help people who maybe need something, need a new outfit to go to work. They started a new job, or maybe they just had a baby, or their kids are growing like a weed. You all know how that goes. And they just need that little bit of help. Or somebody was in a domestic violence situation and they started a new house. Like we're going to be working with the fire company for people that lose lives. I mean, it's not going to be a big money maker. We're not going to get rich off of this. Our goal is to be a service to the community. One of the things I didn't mention in our list is we're actually also starting a Grief Share group. Grief Share is a spiritual-based program. It's a Bible-based program that talks about working through your grief. It's 13 weeks. Mary is going to help lead it. Christine, who's not here, is going to help as well. We don't have a time yet, but if you're interested in it, we have something we're going to ask you to fill out. But it's just to help people deal with grief because we've had a lot of losses. I had mine. So what I'm asking of you, the reason I brought you all here tonight. Now, what I'm asking of you is I want you to think and to pray about what you might be able to do to help support the ministries of our church. In United Methodism, we stress supporting your local church through oh my gosh. Let's try it again. 5 things. Yes is here, and I'm totally botching this. Through 5 things. Your prayers. Please pray. Your presence. Hey, you got that one out of the way. Your gifts. Your service. And your witness. That means we're asking for support through please pray for us. Please show up to some of the things that we're doing. I know people can't make it to everything. Please give as you're able, whether it's a tithe, a donation, things for the thrift store. Service, help us with some of the ministries doing. And witness, go and tell everybody what we're doing. Tell them about Jesus. Share his love with the world around you. We actually have interest sheets. They're over there on the table. I'm going to actually volunteer Eric, because he's closest to it. The taller half sheets. We have interest sheets. And we're asking you if you were here. Many of you I know, not everybody I know. If you'd be willing to share your information. I don't think we have pens, though. I forgot. So I need to grab some pens, or if you have pens, pull them out of your purses or your pockets. And just share some information. On there, you'll see some interest. We need help with the library, keeping it open maybe more hours. With the thrift store, my wife and I are getting it started. We're going to need some help manning it to be open more hours for the community. We need help with just things like fixing up the building, helping clean the floors, vacuum the carpets, just things like that. There's all kinds of little ways that we could use help. But I want you to also think about, are there things that you're already doing that can be used? Yoga is something Mary started because Mary likes yoga, believe it or not. And so Mary started a yoga group, and people come and they pray and they do scripture readings and things. What if you like to knit and you wanted to do a group where we come and you talk and you pray with each other, and maybe you read a devotional and then you just knit stuff. Make hats and scarves. I don't knit, but not my thing. Or what if you like to run and you want to get people together once on Saturday mornings and say, you know what, I like to run, so let's get together, we're going to do a devotional, pray, and then we're just going to go run. I don't understand you people, I don't like to run. As I said earlier, I think it was Billy, if you see me running, you should run too, because I'm probably being chased by something. But just things that you're already doing, how can we use those to reach other people and to invite people in? I lost my place. One of my big dreams, and this is one of the big dreams that this meal came out of, I would love to see us do a monthly community dinner. Rotate it between our three churches. Invite people from the community free of charge, or put a basket out. It doesn't have to be chicken marsala, it could be spaghetti. If Jesus were to return tomorrow, he would probably use pasta because it's really easy to make a lot of it for people. But one of my goals is, I would love to see us do a monthly community dinner, just to bring people in, to bring them together, to bring people out of their homes that maybe are lonely, to provide a hot meal for people that maybe are eating TV dinners. Those aren't really a thing anymore, but that are eating lean cuisines, I don't know. But just to bring people together in community. And the amazing thing about all of these are in addition to the other things that we're doing. And the other part of that is, it's okay to come with questions to stuff. You could come and say, I'm still not sure what I believe about God, and you could vacuum a carpet. You could come and say, I'm not really sure what I believe about God, but I'm willing to keep the library open to talk to people and just kind of help people not be lonely. God can still use you, even if you've got doubts and questions. I'm going to shut up now, because I've been talking for a while. But I do want to say, if you've not been connected recently to us, or if you're looking for a place to connect, not only are we missing out on you, you're missing out on us, because we have some amazing people in our churches. People that I've gotten to know over 3 years. People that if you got to know, you would love them just as much as I do. So I invite you, as those come around, to prayerfully consider maybe ways that you can be involved. And again, help us please share the good news. One of the biggest struggles we have is getting the word out to the community about what we're doing. And I know a lot of you are super connected. You're in places, you're in clubs, you're in groups. So pass along the word and pass along the needs that we have. Help share with us, hey, you know what? I work at this place and I just found out there's a group of people that needs this. Please join with us as we try to change our community, to reach other people. To not just bring them into a relationship with God, but show them that there is somebody out there. There's a whole bunch of somebodies out there that care about that. Would you please pray with me? To God, we